All right, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in today. My name is Maddie. I'm the host of Truth Matters podcast. I am joining with Lisa Gunshore, the host of the Buddhist Biohacker podcast, to introduce the Quantum Feminine event at the end of this month. Today, I am joined with Swami Aliananda Paramahansa to discuss her speaking topic for the event. I'm really happy to have you here today. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you for inviting me, Maddie. Lovely to see you.
Of course. It's lovely to see you. I'm so happy that we've been able to connect, and I've been learning more about who you are and what you do as of late. And it sounds to me like you've really had an incredible journey thus far in your life.
It's been very interesting. Yes. It's the whole gambit, really.
Yeah.
Mother, wife, children, spiritual journey, everything. It's
Everything.
been wonderful to do it all.
Yes, absolutely. So as I understand it, you are a master of Kriya Yoga and you're also an initiate of Babaji. Is that correct?
I am. Maha Avatar Babaji.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
The same Babaji that was in Autobiography of a Yogi.
Oh, that's a wonderful book. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
That
Okay, that's
Paramahansa
good to know.
Yogananda wrote. Yes, it's marvelous.
It really is.
It really is. And it was shall I say how I read
Yes,
the book, or shall I say
yeah.
the story? Did that suit you, my darling?
I would love that. Yeah, I would love for people to
Yeah,
hear more about your
yeah.
story. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I had a dream. I was about 36, something like that, 35, 36. And I had this incredible dream, Maddie. It was about being in the Himalayas. And there was a dirt road, and all these Indians were standing there. And I said, "What's happening?" They said, the holiest man in the world is coming by. And I said, "Oh, I'd love to see him. I'd love to meet him or see him." So, anyway, in the next part of the dream, I'm walking up to him. And as I'm walking up to him, Maddie, I start to cry. In this dream, I cry. I'm sort of really crying. And I said, "Will I ever see you again?" And he said, "I'll never leave you."
Oh.
Oh my goodness me. And he said, "Is your husband here?" And I know, I know.
Mhm.
And I said, "Yes." He said, "I'll bless him."
Oh.
And then he said, "Your aura's magenta and you must wear magenta." Well, funny enough, I put magenta on tonight. Isn't that strange? Because I tend to wear, being a Swami, I tend to wear orange. But tonight I put
Mm,
magenta on because I love this colour.
mm, mhm.
So from that dream, the holiest man in the world, and I'll never leave you, I thought, I must find him. I must find him in the world. They said he's in the world. And the dream was so alive, Maddie. It was like
Mhm.
palpable.
Yeah.
So I went to a bookshop the next day. I thought, well, there might be something about him in a bookshop. I mean, I live here in Cornwall. The farthest place, Land's End, the farthest southwest you can get in England,
Mm,
and you've got the world.
mm,
And so I read Autobiography of a Yogi, and of course it was about him in that. So I started looking for him. I'm a mummy. I have 3 children. I have a beautiful husband, a beautiful home, dogs, and I'm 36. And I start looking, and it took me 12 years to find him. And I went to India a few times. I saw other teachers that I thought might be him. And in the end, through lots of journeys, I had his phone number, and I phoned him up. And it was, "Hello, hello." This is 12 years later. I said, "Is that Babaji?" I'm Babaji from Autobiography of a Yogi. He said,
wow.
"Yes, yes, Babaji speaking. Babaji speaking." I said, "Would you teach me Kriya Yoga, please?" He said, "Yes, I teach you Kriya Yoga and immortality." And I thought, well, I've no idea what immortality is. I mean, I didn't know what Kriya Yoga was. He said, "Your body's not ready." He said, "You have treatment, you have healing, and then call me."
Mm,
So I had treatments, I don't know, all sorts of things. I called him again and he said yes, in about 2 weeks' time. He said, yes, you come now. So I got the travel agent on my own and I was 40, I don't know how, it's 12 years later. I don't know how old I was, 6, 7, 8, 48, 49. So went to India, arrived, I had a car booked. I went 8 hours on my own to Nainital, up in the mountains, up in the Himalayas. Stayed at Budge's, his main disciple, who had a hotel. And then the next day I went along and he walked in and he said, well, you've been looking for me for 12 years and now I've called you.
Wow.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And, I didn't particularly take that in, Maddie. It's like, I don't know. It's most peculiar. We hear things, we see things, and we don't realize what we're hearing and seeing. It takes a while to open to these things that you hear and to
Yes.
get that sense of something important, darling. And
Mm-hmm.
gradually, I let go. I kept looking at him and thinking, well, he doesn't look quite like the photograph in the book. Is it really him?
Oh my.
It's, it's the mind. It's this monkey mind. Testing, searching, questioning.
Mm,
And then I learned Kriya Yoga with him, the
mm,
breathing technique. And then gradually, Maddie, gradually, I could see him.
mm.
Yes.
Wow. How beautiful.
It was
So
a
you,
brilliant, yeah.
yeah.
So then after a couple of years, he asked me to teach Kriya Yoga in the West, the
Mm,
same as he had asked Yogananda to teach in the West. So
mhm,
it's wonderful, to be a woman teaching in the West.
mhm,
And it's marvelous to have the name of Paramahansa as a woman.
mhm.
You don't get many women Paramahansas to the pound, really. They're not they're not around that much. And
Right.
it's taken me a long time to understand really what that means
Mm,
and all the different aspects. I think people think enlightenment is suddenly going to happen, but
mhm,
it takes time. A flower doesn't suddenly blossom, does it? It's
mhm.
the sun, it's the nature, it's everything that goes into that rose that makes it blossom. And we're the
Yeah.
sun. It
Yes.
needs time and feeding and nurturing and looking after.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
the
that,
soul,
yeah.
yeah, and the
Mm,
soul's the same. And our journey is the same. And you're a very beautiful girl. I mean, you're blossoming in your beauty, Maddie, and it's a lovely. You're a wonderful example of a young, beautiful woman. And I think that you're understanding your young, beautiful woman. One of my things is at the moment that women and young women are not understanding their seasons and their beauty.
mm.
They're wanting Botox, they're wanting new breasts, they're wanting bigger
Oh.
bums, they're wanting fluff when
Yeah,
they are
it's
beautiful,
true. Yeah.
beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful. And, a rose doesn't need any of that. Nature doesn't need any of that. And we are naturally beautiful. And our souls, that shining light within us, are beauty. And I see it in you. And it's natural and it's beautiful. Yeah. And then you don't feel so lonely because people are expecting the outside things to support them: the
Mm.
handbag, the new outfit, the money, the excitements, the drugs, the Botox. But they're all outside, Maddie.
Mm-hmm.
And when you enter into your ground, that's then you're supported in your life.
Mm. That's
Mm.
wonderful. That's true. There's so many outward temptations, I guess you could say,
Yeah,
wanting to lure people in and make them think that they need something outside themselves, like you
yeah,
were saying, to feel beautiful or look
mm,
a certain way.
yeah.
But like you were saying with the rose, it's a great example. That beauty really is innate, I
It,
think, in
it,
everyone.
yeah. And with Kriya Yoga, you're going into the inner breath, and really you're entering to your sacredness and unfolding the leaves. You're
Mm,
blossoming from within like the rose, and you're opening yourself, and each petal has a quality of yours.
Mm.
You know, you have all these qualities, you know, beauty, kindness, love, wisdom, truth, patience, all the qualities of a rose. And
Mm.
then you feel better in yourself. Mm.
Yes. And I think when we realize that, like you were saying, that there is a process to things and we don't just bloom overnight,
Yeah,
that allows for so much more peace instead of anxiousness.
you're quite right. Because this is another problem. You know, we want to be a millionaire overnight. We want to be a film star overnight.
Mhm.
Whatever it is we want will take time, even if we want a disaster. But they seem to come more quickly because whatever you want, you get
Mhm.
because you focus on that
Mhm.
because you love that. Whether it's good for you or bad for you, you'll get it because you focus on it.
Mm.
So if you focus on a lovely practice like Kriya Yoga and you want to find enlightenment and self-realization and you have commitment to your practice, you'll find it.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah. The power of attention, whatever we're.
Power of attention.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah. And we
And
all have that. That's the beauty of having our own individual will, is that we have the freedom to choose what we put our attention on. And that's a lot of responsibility, but also shows that we all have so much power.
we do, but sometimes, well, I feel, and what I found was with Kriya Yoga, the, the supreme power is the power.
Yes.
My will is really a little creature that likes, oh, I don't know, fresh bread. You know, and so I could eat a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But gradually, and the our appetites are huge. So our willpower is wonderful when it's directed at helping us.
Mm.
So when we've got the willpower and the intent to doing a practice or something that helps you, you're then moving in the breath with your willpower, but you're entering actually into the will and the breath of the Supreme.
Mm.
So that your consciousness, your breath, your mind, your heart, your being, your soul actually goes into thy will be done, O Lord.
Mm-hmm.
That it's the supreme will that is done. Now,
Yeah.
I'm happy doing that because when I see all that is created in the world, all those beautiful trees, those beautiful lakes, those beautiful flowers, it's the will of the Creator that has done this. The sun, moon, and the star. So if I can unite my breath with that will and surrender to the supreme creation, that is then creating my life. I don't need to have a lot of will saying, I want that, I want this, or I want that, because I'm in a flow with the creative breath and will of the Supreme.
Mm. I like that term, creative breath. I think that's
Yeah,
really beautiful.
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And, you know, God spoke and the created. God breathed and breathed life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we forget that we are that life. We make ourselves separate, Maddie. We
Yeah.
feel separate. We feel sad.
Mm-hmm.
When in fact, we are being breathed.
Mm.
You are a divine breath. You are breathing the divine breath. I am too. And in that, my love, that cosmic ocean of breath, we're breathing as one. We're
Yes.
not separate.
Mm-hmm. So not only are we not separate from the Supreme, but we're also not separate from each other because we're
No.
all breathing that same life, right? That
Yeah.
same breath.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful thought, beautiful
It
things.
is.
Yeah. And it's simple.
Mm-hmm.
But our minds, my darling, stop us from letting go. We like to be in control. That's another little word we've got.
Yeah. We think that being in control is the safety or the security, but I was just talking to someone about this, but ironically, the real control is letting go of control, which is kind of funny.
Yes, it's like, yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's really funny, yeah.
It's really funny that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, letting go of control.
Mm-hmm.
Because it gives space.
Mm.
You see, that when you have space, then the other, which is the supreme, can enter that space.
Mm.
But when we're controlling everything, there's no space. And we think we are doing everything and feel we are in charge.
Mm-hmm.
But when we have the space, magical things can happen. You might, in that space of letting go, meet somebody who will say something to you that will change your life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You might, in that space, have an aha moment and realize you thought something which was far beyond what you imagined.
Mm-hmm.
You might realize something different.
Mm-hmm.
You might realize the man you're with is a pain, or you might realize the man you're with is stunning. But when
Yeah.
you're in control, you don't have the space to see.
Mm-hmm. Because there's such a tension behind that control.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it covers up a lot of what you might see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's beautiful. I'm really enjoying all of these thoughts we're touching on. I think that's really great. And I think they all are somehow actually linked to your speaking topic for the event, which is your heart is the grail.
Yeah,
I think that's what where all of these things are pointing to. So
they are.
yeah. What does the grail mean when we say that your heart is the grail? Does it kind of mean like the goal or the everything? What does that mean to you?
Well, when I'm teaching Kriya Yoga, we close our eyes and we do our breath together.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was with Babaji, he used to say, "Go in, dear, go in, go in." And I used to think, "Go in? Where am I going?
Yeah.
Where's in? Where is in? Where, where do I go in?"
Yeah.
Well, when we do our Kriya Yoga, I do tend to shut our eyes because we're always looking out. We're always looking in the world. I'm looking at you, you're looking at me. Whether you realize it's not how we look and seem is a judgment, is a thought, is an experience. Oh, I like that color, or I don't like that color, or whatever. When we shut our eyes, for a start, I'm feeling I'm not looking out. Then gradually, with the breath, you come inside, behind the brow, filling your brow with peace.
Mm.
And then you come in behind the face, and you come in into the breath, and you come into the breath of the heart. And then gradually, you enter inside, and you see the light of yourself inside. It's like a Buddha nature, it's like a body of light within you.
Mm.
And then you enter in, and then the light from your heart opens up like a beautiful well. You could call it a grail. It's like a beautiful grail of light. And this light arises, filling your mind with peace. Now, in the grail is peace, is wisdom, is beauty.
Mm.
And it holds all your qualities. Now, each one is born with their quality. You're born, your soul will express itself through God's consciousness, because it's God's consciousness expressing through you. You will have qualities I don't have.
Mm.
And we all have a different thumbprint, and we've all got wonderful qualities. that this God consciousness, which is behind everything, is making this wonderful, wonderful play here in the world, a wonderful carpet. We're all coming together. We're all at different thoughts, words, and deeds, and we're all coming together. For me, when I enter my heart, I'm entering the grail of light. I'm entering a place of peace. But I'm also entering understanding, Maddie. I get understandings from my heart. It's like gradually, through breathing Kriya Yoga, your chakra system cleanses. You cleanse yourself. You cleanse your body, your mind, and your spirit, and you cleanse yourself. And the consciousness opens within you and arises within you. And these jewels of consciousness come together, filling your mind, but also your mind and your heart become one. So that instead of the monkey mind running your life, you enter into a beautiful place within your heart, which is the supreme consciousness that was born in you, that you have found again. It's called self-realization and God consciousness. And that is held in your heart like a grail.
Oh, okay.
All that is in the grail. God. God consciousness is the grail. It's the it's the grace. It's love. It's light. It's the perfume of your soul. Like you're writing these down a bit.
Yeah. I love it.
You love it? Oh, good. Well, this is what I teach. I teach all this all the time. I love it. And you're not what you think you are. And so gradually, you alter.
Yeah.
And so that this essence within you starts to permeate your mind. And so you might not have such strong reactions as you used to have.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah. That's great. Yeah.
You might agree more with people. You might not think you've got to be so active, so reactive and start to, I don't know, my love. Whatever it is that you need to calm in your life will help to calm you. And that's where the peace comes.
So making contact with the Grail can really make changes, and how we approach life and how we act and engage, we engage with the world. That's amazing. Yeah.
Absolutely, sweetheart. Absolutely. And my strapline is change yourself, change the world, peace in the heart, peace in the home. And the more you do Kriya, because the breath works on all the chakras, opens the Kundalini up, opens the consciousness up through you, that you open and you come and you find this peace filling you. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's amazing how simple it is too.
Very simple.
Very simple.
And this is another thing, humanity wants everything difficult. We don't think we're smart unless we've got everything difficult.
Yeah.
And we think we're clever. But actually, if you can keep it really simple, that's the beauty of things. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think so.
I would love to also maybe hear a bit more about your meeting with the Dalai Lama and World Peace Mission as well, a little bit, if you'd like to share, because I think it's really
Yes, I'll share with you, my love. We've got some more time, haven't we?
Yeah, we have a bit more time.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think now. It was, I was with Babaji, and let me see now, my mind's gone a blank. Isn't that funny, darling? My mind has gone a blank. Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
Yeah. And actually, this is a very good thing for minds to be blank, because we're always filling them up with so much stuff. But I was with Babaji. It was before he named me, and it was in 2002. And we'd been up to Badrinath on a pilgrimage right up in the mountains, and we'd been joined by a couple, and they were called Dr. Meetel and his wife Concon and sister-in-law. And my sister went with me, and we went with Babaji right up to this wonderful mountain and all the Himalayas. And we visited this very holy shrine and everything, and did everything we should do up there. Spent the night, everybody in a hotel. And in the morning, Babaji was seeing Dr. Meetel off in the car park. And I happened to come along, and I can't remember terribly well, and I'm standing there with Babaji, and Babaji is standing next to me, and Dr. Meetel standing next to him. So Babaji is holding our hands, so he's holding my hand and Dr. Meetel's hand, and he said, Dr. Meetel, he said, Elizabeth, this is me, Mummy from Land's End, Elizabeth has a world peace mission. And I'm thinking, world peace, I mean, it's like,
wow, that's big.
like, this is madness. I mean,
yeah.
How can this be? Well, and then he said, and I'd like to take Elizabeth to see the Dalai Lama to talk about her mission. I'm thinking, well, go see the Dalai Lama about my mission. I thought, this will never happen. I mean, this is, it's just like unbelievable. Standing here in the Himalayas in a car park. So, and it would be very nice, Dr. Meetel, because Babaji was so sweet. It was so charming. It'd be very nice, Dr. Meetel, if you would organise this for Elizabeth to go with me and talk about this mission. So I thought, my word. Right, okay. Off Dr. Meetel went. We all kissed each other bye-bye and all very good friends. So I came home and I saw my husband, or I think he was on a trip, and I met my husband, and I said, well, you'll never guess, Anton. I said, I've got a world peace mission, and I'm going to see the Dalai Lama.
Wow.
I have no idea what a world peace mission is. I haven't got a clue. So he said, well, I'm coming as well, because he never used to go with me on anything. He said, you're going to see the Dalai Lama, I'm coming as well. Well, this was sort of September, October. And the following year, in March, and I've just moved house, and of all the things in that house move I found was all the emails and stuff to the secretary of the Dalai Lama. And we met him on the 14th of March in 2003. So we went in, and I was sitting outside with Babaji, and I said to Babaji, because I hadn't got a clue, I don't know what a world peace mission is. I said to Babaji, I said, look, you do the talking. I don't know really what to say. All right, dear. So we go in, and there are 7 of us, and the Dalai Lama's there. He's really lovely. He's absolutely sweet. He's like Babaji. If they walked in the room, they're very approachable. I mean, they're ordinary. Do you know what? I don't mean they're ordinary, because obviously they're not. But they're very ordinary. There's no glamour with them. They are just wonderful people. So we go in, and the Dalai Lama's there, and Babaji is holding his hand, and they're chatting. And I'm sitting on the settee next to Babaji, and I'm thinking, well, this is lovely. I can relax. No problem. This is really lovely. And there was a little silence, and Babaji said, and now Elizabeth's going to talk about her world peace mission. I thought, right, okay.
Wow, he just put you on the spot like that.
Like that. So the Dalai Lama, you know what the Dalai Lama's like? So he sort of got up in his chair and gave me full attention. Now, when I teach, I just actually receive, like the words I've been saying to you, are words that come to me. And so somehow, in the great presence of the Supreme, I managed to, and it's all about synchronicity, really. It's a bit what I'm saying, Maddie. It's about that breath. Once you start to breathe with Supreme Ocean, you are in the right place at the right time, meeting the right person, like we have. There's a
Yeah.
synchronicity of the Supreme.
Mhm.
But also, you are actually getting into the breath and synchronizing with your soul, with your God consciousness as well. So
Mm.
it's all about that. It's all about opening to that. And so we had a lovely time. And then we all got up to go out for a photograph. And the dear Dalai Lama came over and took me by my hand. And we walked out together into his garden and had a lovely photograph taken. And he's so lovely. And Babaji's lovely. And it was a very beautiful time. That's all I can say.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Really special
it
experience.
was very special,
Mhm.
very special indeed.
Mhm.
And I've seen the Dalai Lama, not personally, he wouldn't know me from Adam, but I've seen him, speaking since then, which has been a blessing. And
Mhm.
it's wonderful, wonderful.
Wow. Thanks for sharing that. I think that's a really cool story. Thank
It's
you.
a cool story, isn't it? It's cool.
Yeah.
And the cool story is, you see, that,
Yeah.
that I said to Babaji, it's like money said, and go and teach Kriya Yoga. So I said, well, how do I do that? And he said, you will know. So
Mm.
how do I do the World Peace Mission? You will know. So
Oh,
it's like, what is the you that knows?
mm.
It is the Supreme that knows. And the more you get in touch with this inside you, that knows to speak through you, to fill you with that inner confidence,
Yeah.
and then to move you in life, to to be there. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah. It
And
really
that's
is.
you will know. And you know. You're very good at it, Maddie.
Oh,
You
thank
listen,
you.
you're very good at it. Beautiful. It's very comfortable.
Thank
And
you.
that energy I can feel, and it's lovely. And I'm not saying that as a sort of being oh gosh, she's awful.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I mean it in a very sacred way. It's lovely. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. I find it's really a great way to connect with my own, self with a capital S or supreme self when I'm talking to people and when I'm interviewing people.
Yes.
But I also really enjoy what I feel happens when I'm listening to people as well, and when I can tap into that silence and just kind of be there and connect with people just by listening to them is also really it's been a really good learning experience for me.
Yeah.
So I've really enjoyed everything so far with with doing these interviews and stuff and doing the podcast. So thank you.
Oh, well, and it's interesting that you use the word listening because when I'm teaching, I have to listen. I see it and I hear it and I feel it and I speak it.
Oh,
And it's it's the so the deeper you go inside you, in a sense, and the more you let go, this whole breath, this whole wisdom teaching awakens within you. So you're finding that you can listen, but you are actually listening to yourself as well. So
mm,
you're very good so when you go into meditation, listen, listen to the silence. But in that silence, when you go very deeply, there is an understanding within you that arises as well.
mm,
Listen,
mhm.
listen, Maddie, listen.
I think that's absolutely true. There's some sort of recognition in that silence.
Yeah,
Mm, yeah,
yeah.
that's great. Are you, as far as your teaching goes, are you currently teaching in Cornwall mostly?
Yes, I am. I'm on Zoom. And
Okay.
I just had a 5-day pilgrimage here
Mm-hmm.
because we live here in the Mounts Bay. I'm by the sea here, and we have this very sacred place called St Michael's Mount. And
Oh.
it's a castle on a mount, and they have a beautiful chapel, and it's dedicated to the Archangel Michael.
Mm-hmm.
And the Archangel Michael, it's like a Michael point. I think in America you have a very special point. Oh, I can't remember now what it's called, but it's a very holy place. You get lots of holy places in America. There's one special place that's got this, and you get a special formation of clouds over it, and I can't think what it's.
Mm.
Doesn't matter anyway. But this is like that. It's a special place, and you get them in the world where the Supreme has put places where the angels come in at that point and that vortex to help the world, and we've got it here. So we
Wow.
had a Michaelmas pilgrimage. We remember Archangel Michael.
Mm. That's wonderful. It,
Yeah,
it seems to me Cornwall is a very magical place.
it's very magical. And
Yeah,
we've got the legend of King Arthur and the Knights of the
exactly.
Round Table.
Mm-hmm.
And you had Jesus and the disciples, the 12 disciples. You've got King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, and those knights found enlightenment. And the King Arthur really represents the Christed energy of
Mm-hmm.
Great Britain. And
He
that's
does.
focused here in the heart of England in
Mm-hmm.
a rose, the Rose of England.
The Rose of England.
Yeah,
Oh,
it,
wow. That's
yeah,
incredible.
it's incredible.
It really is. Yeah.
So it's we are feeding the rose with love,
Mm.
and you are feed actually angels with love. It's called
Mm.
manna from heaven, and you offer this, and that's what we feed each other with love.
Mm.
See, when we are thinking of others, that comes forward. Not only you thinking of others when you're feeding them, but you are feeding them that love, manna from heaven,
Manna. Mm.
manna from heaven.
Beautiful. I
It's
like that.
beautiful, isn't it?
It is.
A mother, feeds her child. This is why being a mother is a magical thing,
Mm-hmm.
because they feed their children and their family, their husband, and it brings up love.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I like the idea that we can be fed by love because
Yes,
ultimately love would be the most nourishing thing I think we could
well,
possibly find.
it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. And I think love is a very it's overestimated word in a modern way
Mm-hmm.
and not realized in a spiritual way.
Mm.
You know, um, when love is really about actually giving, isn't it? Not receiving all the time. It's about giving.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm.
But also, Maddie, when I think about that, really, in the true sense, as I'm sitting here with you, I am actually all the time receiving love from the Supreme.
Mm.
And that love is like grace. It's like heavenly grace, heavenly water that's watering and feeding us all the time, in every moment, feeding all nature, all the world, all the universe with this grace of love.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And when we receive that, and where our hearts are like a grail to receive it and hold it, then we pour that forward to our children, to you, Maddie, to my group, and you do it to me, and we all do it to each other. Now that raises the consciousness of the world.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
It feeds the world with love, not hatred, but love. We
Mm-hmm.
can change the world,
Mm-hmm.
and it's up to us.
It is. It is. Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing all of this wonderful wisdom with us today. I've really enjoyed being in your presence. So thank you.
I love it, my love.
Oh,
It's
good.
wonderful, my darling. And
Good. I'm so glad.
yeah.
I feel a bit spoiled sometimes because I started this podcast and now I get to talk to the most lovely
Yeah.
people regularly. So it's really just the best little job.
Yes, it is. It's a wonderful job.
It
And
is.
they're all over the world. And one of the things that's come out of this COVID is we can all talk to each other now all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
just been marvelous for that. It's busted the whole thing open. We're just
It has, absolutely. Well, thank you so much again for being with us today and sharing your light and love. And I would encourage anyone who has resonated with this interview to sign up for the Quantum Feminine Conference. I've listed the link to that in the show notes in the description, so feel free to do that. And again, thank you so much. That was wonderful.
Thank you, Maddie. Darling. Oh, you little dear. You take care and have a lovely time. Enjoy your life.
Thank you.
Lots of love, my love. Lots of love to everybody else.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
look forward to seeing you at the conference. Brilliant.
Yes, we'll look forward to the conference. Exactly.
Lovely. Thank you. God bless you, my love.
God
Bye-bye,
bless
my
you.
darling. Thank you. Bye-bye.